Thank you. I really appreciate that. Honestly, I was, yeah. Uh, I was actually working up until about 15 minutes ago. So that's why I'm a little discombobulated. I'm like, okay, code. And now game. I think that should have changed the category. Yeah, well, you know, that's what I do. I work. It's my job, funnily enough. All right. So, just a couple of things about this. So, I'm playing on PC right now. Game runs 100% on PC. Oh man, I gotta do a couple of. Just one sec. I gotta do some debug stuff in the console. There we go. Yeah, pro. Anyway, so I'm demoing this on a controller on PC. MoonWard 100% works on PC. In fact, that is how I demo it at events. I don't bother with mobile phones, tablets, all that stuff. Also, the resolution is 4:3 because that's a tablet resolution, and the game works 100% fine on tablets as well. So that's a little bit of disclaimers. But yeah, so I'm gonna... Wow, somebody just followed me. Not even in the chat, I don't think. Maybe they are. Hi if you're in the chat. Appreciate it. And thanks for the follow. Yeah, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a few codes. I have 10 codes that I've prepared for the game. The game is on the Play Store. It's for Android. And you get a code, and you can just redeem it like you do with any other code. And I'm just going to play a little bit. Like I said, I've got a controller. Game works 100% with a controller. Always has, honestly, for the last year and a bit. It's just not a feature that I advertise very much because I don't imagine a lot of people have controllers on mobile or, you know, use controllers. So this is the new quick play menu. You can make all kinds of characters here. Well, you can make a limited amount of characters, but they're essentially archetypes that I've decided are sort of good. You can change your icon, but not the race, not your class, not your background. You also have a little bit of a description here. I've tried to keep this sort of in-universe in the sense that in the game you play as a mercenary, and so I've tried to keep it a little bit in the universe. So these aren't like flowery or anything like that. They're more utilitarian, sort of describing what the character was doing before the game starts, and what they're good at. And so I'm gonna make this one because I actually really like the Weapon Master. I think it's a really good class. It's very versatile. It's a very good fighter, and isn't too difficult. The colors indicate difficulty. These ones are quite difficult. This one's actually kind of... Anyway, this one's kind of new, the Rogue. It wasn't an archetype I'd really focused on before, but because the game is mostly about combat, and anyway, it works really well. It's very parry-centric, anyway. So I'm actually going to make a character that's a Weapon Master that's not a part of this list. So you have your old classic character creation over here, where you can make a character of any class, any race. There's a ton of avatars you can choose from. I'm gonna give them a randomly generated name just so I don't have to lean on the keyboard. And yeah, like I said, The game is just 100% playable with the controller. I emulate mouse. This isn't a mouse, it's a controller, as you can tell by the jerky movement. So I'm gonna make them... I really like the miscreants. I like the idea of like an agent of chaos, but there's a bit of description here. They start with a trait, and their trait is tough, which it just gives you a little bit of extra health. But the idea is that you're essentially like just sort of like a Joker style character beforehand. That's why you have very low reputation. This is your reputation when you start the game. You are unwelcome. And you start with 0 gold because if you're an agent of chaos, you don't really need gold. You don't really need money. And I'm going to make them a weapon master as well, which kind of clashes because weapon master is kind of a different thing. Like it's essentially like a fighter, like a just like a career fighter essentially. Your main ability is dexterity, as it says here, which is kind of the main thing for weapons. Strength gives you damage, dexterity does too. There are strength and dex weapons as well. Agility and endurance are pretty good on this class as well, so I think I'm gonna do that. And I'm not gonna start with this race. I'm gonna start with the Auric. One, because I really like their icons, their avatars. But 2, they actually get some extra resistances, and they get some extra critical for staggering. So staggering is specifically... I'm gonna get to it eventually. So basically, this is the combat in this game is an emulation of Souls games, and so stagger is a very specific status that you get when your shield guard gets broken, and some other situations. Stagger is the most generic one, but it just means you could just wail on them. I'm mostly going to be kicking with this character. I'm probably not going to be using a lot of shields, but we'll see how it goes. And that's my character. I'm just going to cycle through a few. Yeah, Blaze. Let's go with Blaze. Let's blaze it. Oh god, I'm too old for this. So, this shows a little bit of... this basically shows what happens at the beginning of the game. Your character just enrolls into this mercenary company for reasons that are beyond this.
And coin? It's hard to come by, isn't it? What if I told you
this is actually...
life can be better, full of adventure, and all the gold you want? Yes, you
this is actually my partner talking.
Well fed, and well paid. Yes, my friends, you too can enjoy the good life. The life of a MoonWard.
So this is actually the reveal trailer, mostly, almost 90%. Oh wow. Thanks, Nick Jen. Not interested. Don't like bots. So every county has a little intro that you just saw. Oh wow, that is extremely fast. Alright, you're gonna have to see how the sausage is made. So the game isn't 100% optimized for controller. I'm playing it on controller because I'm playing on PC right now. Oh, that's better. There we go. So yeah, every county has a little intro, and yeah, no bots, please. Yeah. And every hub is completely different. They have different environments, different music, different enemies that you can get to fight, and all that stuff is just completely different. I realize I've just turned off the tutorials, and I think I'm going to keep that. I'm going to turn them off. I'm going to keep the tutorials off because I'm here. I can tell you what's happening. So this is the introduction story of the game. What this is essentially just you just you've just recruited, you've just enrolled, and you get like a welcome message from the handler of this county for the company, and their name is Doberbier. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. I just thought it was a really cool name, and I really wanted to call one of the characters Brewster because I love that word. It's just a nice word. Anyway, so you're in the tavern right now, and you're just reading like a welcome message from your handler. There's some rewards we're gonna get and some loot. And this is a conversation. This is essentially just a narrative little story that's gonna progress fairly quickly. This is this is literally the first interaction where you can have a consequence in the game. I'm not gonna spoil how this. The consequence isn't important, but this is sort of to teach the player that there are small things you can do that do affect the gameplay, do actually change things. Plus, it's maybe your character's not a drinker, so I just wanted to have that option. So this character is from the intro. Literally, the idea is that this is happening straight after the intro. You got your instructions, and this is happening. Ooh, I think I disconnected my controller. There you go. That's better. Ooh, it works. This is my controller menu, as in every time you plug in a controller, this pops up. It pops up on any system you're on. So it works. Anyway, so this character is literally the same character from the intro. They're basically the barkeep at this tavern that you're in, which is where the MoonWard company's the sort of main. Oh god, there's a word for it. This is their headquarters in this specific county, and this character is also from the intro. She just introduced you to the company. She just did a speech. She's a recruiter, and she's now come to talk to you, and she's going to chat with everyone. This is essentially like a social event for these people. And here's my character, Blaze. This is also an easy way to get better equipment at the very beginning of the game. Some classes have, all classes have equipment that they can use straight away, and it's good. It really is good. Some of it is completely unique. In fact, all of it is completely unique. But some classes also start with very specialized equipment, like how do I put it? Like daggers and parrying stuff. Sort of more difficult to begin with, and so you can just pick a bit of equipment, and they'll just give you some starting equipment with this option. Pretty sure every single character, every single class has enough speech to pass that one. But yeah, she's gonna turn away and leave us. And then the barkeep is going to laugh at us because they're very cynical because they've seen this recruitment happen hundreds of times, and they've seen so many people come and go that they just don't care. And then you have a little somber realization that your life as it was is kind of over now. You're a mercenary, but also there is something deeper as well. And at the end, there's a little bit of happy note. This might be fun in the end of it. Right, so that was the first story in the game. My controller keeps turning off. I think it's because I'm at an awkward angle. All right. So this is the game proper. This is the table. There's another story mission now, and that's to teach you how to... basically teach you how to do the combat in the game. the description there, I just kind of skipped it. It basically just tells you, oh, you know, get up in the morning and have some training, and that's basically it. And this character is actually a permanent trainer. You've always got them. You always have them to teach you or to just spar with you. And then they're just gonna say a few mean things. They're kind of an ass. And so the very first time you play this, there's a funny interaction. This option doesn't actually appear the very first time you play the game. The first character you make, you're not gonna get this. You have to do the tutorial at least once, and then you actually get this option to skip the fight. But I'm not gonna skip the fight. I'm just gonna show you how to play. And then after this one, I'm gonna do codes. I think I'm gonna do 2 at a time. Anyway, we'll get to it. So this is sort of a special combat type where you actually have a little bit of interaction with them. Interaction is strongly said. It is just a conversation, essentially, a linear conversation. But in this situation, he's actually teaching you telling you how to play the game. Essentially, it's a tutorial. So he is going to ask me to attack him, hit me, and RB. There you go. All the weapons in this tutorial are slowed down. They're essentially nerfed. They're supposed to be, in narrative, they're supposed to be training weapons, so sort of like wooden swords and stuff. In fact, I'll show you in a sec. But in the actual game, the combat is much faster than this, and obviously there's way less talking. So the weapon is literally called a practice sword. It is just a very basic sword that you use to train with. Let's try blocking. So I had a lot of problems with people not realizing that you have to hold block, even though he specifically says keep up your guard. That is perfectly reasonable thing to not get. But I was thinking about how to like explain this, and I just literally tell you. It's literally on there on the HUD. It was the simplest thing I can think of, and it works pretty well. By default, all the titles are on combat moves. So yeah, all combat move names are actually on the buttons. So you're gonna see, when you start to play on your own, you're gonna see those regardless. Alrighty, that's a dodge. By the way, I'm not using the cursor right now because I'm pressing the actual buttons. And the third time. So the way this works is, as long as the hit happens in the purple zone, which is your iframes essentially, you're not going to get hurt, and you're going to dodge. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So he just said something about tutorials, pamphlets. That's basically how I rationalize, what's the word? That's how I explain away the fact that you get a ton of these tutorials. You get parry, wind down, action bars, you get some videos as well, block basics, etc., etc. It tells you how to and how not to block. We're going to continue the conversation because he's also going to teach me how to parry. And parrying is probably the most powerful move in the game, honestly, because not only does it disable them, but it also gives you an opening for damage. And everyone knows what a parry is. So anyway, he's asking me to attack. And then he's going to parry me. And the way parrying works is timing based, just like before. You have to time your parry to happen when the opponent's arrow is in the green zone. And I'm going to show you in a sec how that works. So I'll press attack again. My arrow, which is this thing, is going to start rotating. It's going to do a 360. And when it's in the green, that's when his parry actually occurs. That's when his arrow hits the hand that indicates a parry. And that's how the combat system essentially works. Nothing complicated, really. Oh, and I missed it. I got hit. So basically in training, there is no damage. Like, damage numbers are shown, but you don't actually get hit. As in, you don't get hurt, rather. And different moves have different timings, so they can have as many as 3-4 different attacks, probably more. Usually they have 2 attacks they use a lot, 2 parryable attacks they use a lot, and then they have special moves outside of that. Every weapon has 2 attacks and a kick that you have access to, as you can tell from the weapon category, the offensive category, essentially the attacks category. So he's going to ask me to parry and then riposte again. We'll see how that goes. And I'm going to click here and then do an attack. So I don't actually have to do that on controller. On a controller, all the moves are mapped to the controller regardless. So from any point from anywhere in the UI, I can actually click on the attack and it'll just happen. But I just wanted to show how this works. A little sloppy, but it does the job. You're damn right, it was a little sloppy. I am kind of rusty on the controller. So now he's gonna basically just ask me if I wanna. Oh, by the way, you can disable these from here. He's just going to ask me to spar, but not really going to spar. The combat in that is kind of slow, is for new people. I think for new people it would be great, and new people should spar with him to find out what's happening, but I don't need that. Hopefully I don't need that. So he gives you a shield as well. So the woman from the beginning gives you some basic gear, and he also gives you a shield. Because I realized that some characters don't actually start with a shield, and I wanted to give people the option. So, by the way, all training happens up here. You have your dummy. You have Rowan, who's the trainer. He's a generalist in the sense that he does a little bit of defensive combat. He does a little bit of offensive, and this button just replays the tutorial. So, sorry, I just clicked my tongue there. So, what I'm gonna do now is, I'm actually gonna do codes. Hey, can I get a roll call in the audience? Is it Aslan and Karus? How do you pronounce that? Karosius. I've never asked you. We've spoken a million times and I've never asked you. Is it just you two guys? I think. Hold on, Klein. Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna post a couple of codes into the chat. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. It probably isn't. It definitely isn't for me. I can tell you that, because I realized recently I have no idea how to follow these. How to keep track of which ones have actually been redeemed or not. So if I wanted to reuse them, I can't. But it honestly doesn't matter. You get hundreds of them in the Play Store, so I don't really particularly care. So I'm gonna post 2 of them in the chat. Feel free to use them however you like. Whoever gets them first gets them first. I don't actually know if you can get the chat post. Hey Aslan, do you actually get the chat? If I make this a VOD, could you actually see the chat? Like, I legitimately don't remember that. Okay, good, good. So people can actually redeem these later on. Awesome. Yes. Good. So here are a couple of codes. Nice. That's great. That's really good. That's exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I am gonna make a VOD out of this. I'm probably even gonna put this on the YouTube channel, maybe even, because I'm breaking down the game anyway, so I might as well use that. But yeah, so the codes are for the Play Store. Please absolutely use them. Give them to friends, loved ones, enemies. You're damn right about the ass part. Thank you. Thanks, man. I genuinely didn't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so the codes are for the Play Store. Please absolutely grab them, give them to friends, or redeem them straight away. I grew up with very few games, literally 1 or 2 games a year, and I don't want people to be like that, just because I couldn't afford them. So I don't want that to be the case for people. So I just want to give this away as much as possible. And so I suppose I'm just going to continue. Hey Aslan, how's the audio, by the way? Is the game still too loud? Okay, good. Because it is a little bit loud for me, but I assume that's got to do with the mixing that's happening. I probably have a way to fix that, but excuse me, I don't know what it is, because I'm not a streamer. So yeah. Oh wow, it's already 5. So the stream was gonna go until 6, just because I have fatherly duties to attend to afterwards. But maybe we'll go a little bit longer, because it's already been an hour. I can't believe that. Trust me, the game doesn't play that slow. Like, oh wow, that is really sensitive. All right, I need to lower this. 22. Oh well, that explains everything. Let's make it 11. And that can be 5. Alright. Door can be increased by 5. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, that feels so much better. Anyway, sorry about that. Technical things. Right, so this is your actual first story that is like a combat. And I wanted to have a... So this was actually originally the tutorial. Excuse me. So this was actually originally the tutorial. This is how out of touch I was, thinking that my game has the simplest control scheme and everything in the industry. I'm just going to skip forward because I don't think there's anything important here. Oh, okay. I can steal something. I've forgotten about this. Yeah, I'm gonna steal that. Yeah, because I'm playing as the chaotic guy, chaotic character. So yeah, all right, there we go. So this is how out of touch I was. I thought that this would be enough, but this is like just a combat. You know, this is just a combat scenario that you absolutely can like lose. Or you can be like me and just kick ass. Now, granted, this is actually like fairly simple. This is a nerfed enemy. So kicking is something, just because before I continue, kicking is something that I didn't really explain the tutorial because it's a little bit, it requires a lot more timing and it requires actual like a lot more strategy. But if you kick them in the very first phase of their move, so if your kick connects when the first phase of their move is happening, they actually get staggered. Instant stagger, almost every enemy. There are some enemies that are quite sturdy and they won't stagger, but most enemies don't just stagger straight away, and it's so powerful. Unfortunately, it usually means that you have to get hit once. Because most moves, that initial stage is very short, so you have to start the kick in the previous move before that, and you either have to be you have to know their moveset very well, or you just need to be really good at tapping straight away, or you get hurt, like what I did there. The one good thing with this, with the way the way MoonWard works, is that healing is automatic and free every time you finish a fight. So it doesn't matter how hurt you are, you'll always be fine and you'll get all of your rewards. With the exception of a challenge. I was gonna do a challenge run, but I'm a little rusty, so probably not a good idea. But yeah, anyway, leveling up. So you have your traits, and these are your racial and background traits. You have your basic stats up here, and these are just mostly just what class, race, etc. you are, what level you are, your name. Down here you have your abilities. In classic RPG style, all of these abilities actually do something. And they'll tell you what they do as well. If you click on them, they'll actually tell you what they do. Endurance mostly gives you health and resistances. Strength mostly gives you damage and a few resistances. And then you have a big spreadsheet that you're going to be checking, but all of these also have descriptions if you click on them. So anyway. But this is mostly here to see this. Every time you put an ability point, it actually increases. These numbers. I'm going to put some points into stamina, because I'm gonna need a lot of stamina if I'm gonna be kicking. Funnily enough, the horse isn't here. the horse icon isn't random, but it literally is, because it actually helps with kicking. Because kicking usually takes a lot more stamina. So I'm actually going to zoom in to the map just to show you how. Oops, sorry. This is on a controller. It's a bit jerky. The game's not optimized very much for that. I'm going to center as well. So. The way it works is you have this map, and on this map you have multiple types of hexes, and the hexes represent different stories, different things you can do. Blue is your main story, green is your side stories. Side stories are like side quests, they're handmade. And then you have yellow, which is your bounties. I'm just going to be doing bounties for a little bit, just because I enjoyed this quite a lot. Actually, this is a raider, so I don't really... I want to find a bandit if I can. Or is it just raiders, because it's very low? So the raider faction is the weakest faction in the game. In fact, I'll level up a little bit first. The raider faction is the weakest faction in the game. They are nerfed intentionally. They are there for new players. They're there to introduce the mechanics, and their movesets are really slow as well. And very basic, and then after them you get bandits, and bandits are much tougher. Like, bandits are actually kind of tough. But in the beginning of the game, there's a nerf that I applied to every single enemy, so they're actually 4 or 5 levels of nerf that I can apply, and this is the most severe. So their moves are the slowest they'll ever be in the game. And this one just straight goes to... There's a spider down there now. Go kill the spider. There's actually a little... so there's Bard's Tale games. Oh, I managed to kick him. Where... he's gonna dodge, huh? There you go. Where there's like a little subversion where you start a mission to kill the rats in the basement, and then it's a spider. This is kind of what this is. In fact, this is literally what this is. Except in that game, it's actually difficult, and in this, I kind of decided to make it a little bit easier, because it's a very... the combat system is fairly complicated, and I didn't want to throw people in the deep end. I didn't want to make it too complicated. So that's why I'm doing it like this. So this guy is actually so impressed with you. He was in something called the Marketeers Guild, and he is actually going to introduce you. Well, he's going to give you a mark that you can look for, and that's how you unlock the marketplace. So I wanted to make it so most of the mechanics are actually unlocked through some kind of social interaction or some kind of world building. So he just tells you, hey, I used to do this. I was an adventurer like you. And then things happened. And he gives you this. He's just grateful. He gives you this, and that unlocks the gray market. Now, the gray market isn't like illegal in the universe of the game. It's just kind of extra bits that you can get that you couldn't get otherwise. But this is basically your market. So because this is 4x3, it's actually a little bit squished, but you can still see. So what I would like to do is I would like to replace that with that. Remove this because I'll be dodging quite a lot. And I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna buy the most powerful item in the game. And it's this. It's actually water. Because water regenerates your... I'm going to disable this. Water actually regenerates your stamina much faster, so drinking water mid-combat is like the best thing you can do, because it's also pretty long. It's fairly long-term effect. Oh, I'm actually on the second weight tier. So I'm gonna change this with the armor that I got from the first story. No gloves. I got boots. That's fine. I don't think I have any interesting items, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna change this because it's fairly heavy. I'm gonna change it with this one. No, with this one. And I'm gonna leave the shield on there. Oh, sorry. Backed out of there. Oh, I can't believe I'm still level 2. I am taking time. Alright. Let's do one more mission and then I'll do some raiders. Oh, this is the Luanar. Okay, so Luanar are kind of like zombies in this universe. They're like, as you go through the story, you realize they're not really. They're actually like intelligent beings. But they're in constant pain, and that kind of makes them feel like act like zombies. I don't know if this is a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler. It's like one of the first stories in the game, so it should be fine. So yeah, you go to this house essentially in the story, and you find this creature, just kind of. It's called a troll. Yes, Luanar. A Luanar is the category. It's essentially creatures that are quote-unquote touched by the demon moon. The blue moon that's up in the sky. It's actually the logo of the game. It's the big circle behind the word moon. That's the moon. Luan. Hence Luanar. And it essentially gives you... It essentially like... It corrupts you. So the main character of the story is actually someone who has the same curse as this Trau. And so there is a little bit of apprehension from the character that they're going to become this monster, this creature. So I'm not even going to bother trying to... Ooh, okay, backstab. Exposed is means it's a backstab. It's because I just lighten my load, my equipment, and yeah. Okay, this is so I'm basically, this is the first time I've encountered these creatures as a character, and so I'm trying to explore what they are, and essentially doing like an impromptu autopsy on them, because I've been led to believe by everyone that I'm going to become one of these. And with that choice, I actually got a quest item. which is this character's. They used to be a person, and they have personal belongings, and I just got one of them. And so the rest I think I'm gonna skip because it is actually kind of spoilery. But yeah, essentially the main story of the game is you discovering what this curse is that you've been afflicted with, and why it doesn't affect you like this creature that I just fought. Why does it spare you from like the horrible mutations? Let's level up. And throughout the course of the game, you find out quite a lot. Actually, you find out pretty early on some pretty heavy stuff. But I doubt we're going to get to that. Let's go with Dex. Let's keep going with a quality build. And let's do some story. Let's do some of these. I want to do some parrying. I want to do some like actual combat. So the problem with these games is, and soft games, From Soft games have this problem as well. When it comes to creatures, the combat is a little bit. So the best fights, and everyone knows. Oh, come on, you're gonna. Okay. He just buffed immediately. The best fights in Souls games are always against humanoid enemies. Can I parry you? Yeah. And so... no, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's do a backstab. There you go. The best fights are against humanoid enemies. By the way, this is the Raider faction. Like I said, they are a little bit slower than your regular bandits because they're at the very beginning of the game. That's kind of their purpose is for them to be fodder for new players. And they also don't have a lot of icons, apparently. But yeah, so I was struggling. One of the things I was struggling with quite a lot was was trying to figure out how to make these non-human monsters more threatening. There you go. More threatening. Non-humanoid, I should say. Oh, okay. I got a poison and shock. Yeah, I could use that. I'm pretty sure I could use that. I do actually have darts. Let's not use them right now. I do have some money. Maybe I should do some shopping. So you... what was I saying? Yeah, so one of the things I figured out was, okay, well, you can't really parry a bear, right? And a bear isn't really gonna move when you kick it. So I started playing with, so that's why I introduced auras, and that's why a lot of like wild creatures are just gonna have like really fast movesets. It's less about tactics and more about quick like responses. And a lot of them, this is not a secret, a lot of them are vulnerable to, if I go into the notes, that actually tells you this. A lot of these creatures, especially the lower end creatures, are actually a little bit vulnerable to blocking. Good armor and just a shield. They're not very good against that. By the way, these are unlocked because of your race. Auric or orcs in my universe are sort of like wood elves that got corrupted, but they're not corrupted like orcs in Tolkien. They were corrupted in the sense that they were just made lesser. Their lifespans are much shorter, and they've lost their connection with nature, most of it. But they're still sort of a little bit animalistic. I just quite like that. I didn't really want to go with the sort of brutal, savage orc race thing. So they are completely cosmopolitan like everyone else in this universe, but they are also... they have their, a little bit of that background. whatever's left of it. Oh, almost. There you go. One of my favorite things is knowing exactly how long their the status effects are gonna last, and just doing a heavy attack just before it finishes, because the AI. Anyway, this is kind of an exploit. The AI actually waits for you to, when they come out of something, they actually have a little bit of time before they can start acting, and that's intentional. I had a lot of fun with the AI on this. Anyway, shopping. I was going to shop. Yeah, so as you could tell, there's quite a lot of equipment, quite a lot of different weapons. Right now, I'm literally in the first tier, the lowest tier, so there's not that many that are available to me. But they'll start getting unlocked. Oh, there's actually a couple of green ones. So essentially white means no effect, green means one effect, blue means two effects, etc, etc. Like as as the colors progress, as you can see down here, they get more and more magical. Amulets start with 2, which is why they're a lot more expensive. Amulets and rings, I should say, start with 2 magical effects. That's kind of how the loot system... Oh, I probably should get... Ooh, stamina. Yes, please. Early in the game, stamina is the hardest resource to get. Oh, that's very expensive. Essentially, you want to get... like... When you're doing so little damage, you need a lot of stamina to do a lot of swings. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's sometimes quite difficult to manage because of that. These enemies are actually quite easy. What level am I? Am I on almost the next tier? Let's do a story mission. Let's do this one. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to do another 2 codes. I was going to do them every 20 minutes, but I realize now that I'm actually running behind a little bit. But let's do another code. Another 2 codes. If you can't see, if you can't tell, this is... Promoting and all of this is kind of new to me, so, you know, I apologize for all the rambling and the delays. I can't believe I've been almost up for an hour. Anyway, so yeah, as I said last time, please use these codes. Grab them for yourself, give them friends. Honestly, it doesn't bother me either way. As long as people are enjoying this game, I don't mind. That's why I made it. I want as many people to enjoy it as possible. So yeah, this is a bear. Call them Urson. And and this bear is gonna be a pain in my ass, I think. Because I don't think this character is very good. Well, no, I can actually do a lot of dodging and backstabbing with this one. Oh yeah, I love this interaction. Miscreant was one of the most fun backgrounds to write special dialogue for, because because they're just kind of mean. But not really. They're more playful in a mean way. It's like, oh, because this character just called you out to looking like a bandit, which you probably do. It doesn't matter what character you are, except for a couple of them. Oh yeah, you're sneaking around the... oh, viscera, not pleasant. Let's go with agility. And so you probably look like a bandit, and so this character calls you out on it, and you're like, and the miscreant is like, actually, I kind of am. But let's not. I got a job now. Maybe some other day. Oh wow, okay. I do a lot of damage. Ah, poop. I got staggered. Okay. Oh, missed the dodge. Didn't miss that backstab. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do a parry. I'm rusty on my own game. What does that give me? Poison resistance and riposte. That's actually pretty good. I'm actually going to put that on straight away because that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good item. Still don't have rings. That's very annoying. All right, let's do another story mission. Big bad wolf. Right. So the short version of this is there's a resort and there's this. It's just like a luxury resort, like a spa thing, and there's a. They kind of play. They act like they're really into nature, but there's actually a whole shrine behind the resort, and they've just kind of, they're not desecrated or anything, they're just kind of like disrespectful, and so a wolf manifests to guard it, and and that just kind of happens in this universe. And so you're being sent to literally get rid of the wolf by the people that are saying that are being like in tune with nature. It's very on the nose. I like my satire. Maybe a bit too much. Oh, you can extort a little bit of money from this guy, which, knowing what he's doing, is probably not something most players would feel bad about. Oh, unfortunately, I don't have any of the pacifists. So I added a bunch of pacifist solutions to this quest about half a year ago. A lot of them are set fire, make sure that there's another exit. So basically you're in front of a cave, and a lot of these other ways are appease the spirit or light a small fire so you can scare it away because it's still an animal, that kind of stuff. But this character isn't very chatty. They're not very intelligent. they're more fighty. So we're gonna fight the wolf. We're gonna fight the guardian of that sanctuary. And let's see. I can't block. I can't backstab. Okay, that's good. That was a kick. There you go. I can backstab. As long as I can backstab, I'm happy. This is also the first time you actually get a special consumable, which is a different class of consumable that gives you permanent strength or something like that. Oh no, it's not. It's the second time you get it. In fact, I'm going to pop those in the inventory right now. So basically, as you play the game, you get these special valuable contraband things. And usually valuables you can't. They're just for selling. But these ones you can actually consume. And they'll give you quite a lot of very sort of powerful things. I'm going to go sell these as well. Bulk sell. And let's see, anything interesting? I think I'm level 5 now, so yeah, I definitely get a lot more items at level 5. Yeah. Excuse me. So I'm going to continue with the agility because I want to be able to dodge and interact as much as possible. I'm going to get rid of these bounties. So there's a little penalty to getting rid of bounties, but these guys are just raiders, and raiders are mostly there for new players. There you go, beast. So this is what a bear fight should actually look like. The other guy was a little bit nerfed, or well, this is what a bear fight in the beginning of the game should look like. The other guy was kind of nerfed. I suppose they're not that much more difficult, but they do have way more health. And they hit harder as well. So it is a little bit easier to die. There is input queuing, so that's why you see it kind of go a little crazy, because I input queue. I dodge and then light attack immediately. in order to backstab. This is one of the newer items that I added, leather coat. I mostly added this for the pirate faction, but I kind of unlocked it everywhere because I like it. If you want to be an ultra light, actually, I don't think I'm going to be getting hit very often, so I'm going to put that on now. Yeah, what trench coat mercenary in this fantasy universe. Ooh, that's a good hood. Okay. Let's see. I think I got a ring. Stagger resistance. So stagger resistance means that you can get kicked or you can hit their shields with lighter attacks more often. That sort of stuff. It just means that you're going to get staggered less often. And then there's this. 1 health a sec. And I'm still under the... Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Let's buy some... Oh, on the mallet. No, that's a heavy weapon. That's going to make me dodge bad. Yeah, that's a versatile weapon. Yeah, I want to specialize in light weapons. This character that I've started with, they are very good at light weapons. Let's see. Let's check this out. 38. 2 javelin. Let's try this one. Let's try the javelin. The javelin's actually got one of my favorite special moves. Don't know if I'll get to use it much. Actually, let's showcase the training. So this is the dummy. The dummy doesn't do anything, but you can use it. That one. There you go. You throw a javelin, and you can throw, I think, 3 of them. This is one of my favorite weapons because you essentially get a free throwing weapon, and you can attack almost immediately. So the weapon doesn't actually go away. Also, incidentally, this is how the throwing system, this is how ranged weapons work in this game, is you throw it and then it travels a little bit, gives the opponent a little bit of time to get ready to dodge or something like that, and you can do that as well. There are opponents with thrown weapons that you will face, and they will, they'll be very. You have to dodge them at the right time. There are also creatures and elementals that have auras as well. So. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. All right, maybe. Come on. Ah. Okay. Oh, it keeps dodging. So this is what I meant when I said a lot of these creatures don't actually you just can't stagger. This guy you saw in one of the earlier fights, and he could get staggered, and now he can't because the campaign enemies are a little nerfed, as opposed to the ones you find in free roam. Oh, another raider. You know what? This one's actually high enough level. Let's see what she's got. Yeah, let's see what she's got. Let's do dual wield, two-hand. It's called two-handing. There you go. I managed to stagger you. So when you two-hand, you do more damage. Your attacks take a little bit longer to do. So there's like a built-in slowdown for each attack, and but they do more damage. It's essentially the same thing that you get in a game like Souls, Dark Souls 1 or whatever. And so I tend to play mostly fast characters, so I don't really do two-handing too much, but I do enjoy it. It's really fun. I think it's more fun with bigger weapons, because with a bigger weapon you can actually hit much harder. You stagger them and then you just swing and it takes half their health. It's very satisfying. The other thing you get when you're two-handing is you actually get special moves like this. Ooh, okay, I ran out. Okay, I might actually die here. Let's stop two-handing because it's making my attacks really slow. Am I gonna have to heal? Yeah, I'm gonna have to heal. So these enemies are much more deadly when you get them in free roam. But yeah. They're also kind of like intentionally dumb. They're supposed to be kind of like zombies, where they'll just attack you constantly. So this is a spider, and the best thing to do with a spider is get a shield, get a medium shield, maybe not that one, maybe a wooden one. Oh, or that one. Let's go with that one. Get a shield, and then you just block, and the spider will just kind of. That's intentional again. This is strategic layers of the game. Come on, attack me. There you go. There are certain weapons and certain tactics that are... Oh, you staggered me. Okay, didn't expect that. Okay. Alright. And now I'm poisoned. Come on, attack me. Oh, press the wrong button. It doesn't matter if the poison hits me now. Okay, there you go. Oh, that got scary. Okay, this is getting very hard. Oh wow, I actually got a really cool weapon from this. So these little things do a ton of physical damage and do a ton of shock affliction. I don't think they'll proc the first time, so you need a few of them. Yeah, every weapon and item, by the way, has a ton of lore attached to it. Anyway, so you have this screen where it tells you how much damage you're potentially going to be doing per tick. I think 125 is like the most you can do. Every character has resistances, so it's going to be lower for basically everyone. Excuse me. But yeah. Every item also has some kind of... every affliction also has some kind of debuff. Freezing lowers your stamina regeneration, and shock lowers your stagger regeneration. Poison affliction is just deadlier. It just does more damage. And burn deals a bunch of damage up front, almost twice as a normal tick, and then it continues as normal. So they all have a special mechanic, what they do. And I got some mundane boots. Nothing wrong with a pair of mundane boots. They're just made for walking. I'm going to keep pumping into agility because I just want to be able to just go nuts on enemies. Just keep attacking. By the way, if you're a different class, these requirements, strength, dexterity, all of that is going to be much more relevant. Because I started with the Weapon Master class, they just have very high abilities, combat abilities to begin with. They suffer in other ways, but that is why I can still wield weapons, even heavier ones now, just because of how the class was designed. I'm gonna change from this shield because it's a bit too heavy for me, and I'm gonna change to back to the leather shield. The leather shield is quite good at... I should get some consumables, some throne consumables. Ooh, I get a blue. That's very rare at this level. Interesting. It's not a very good blue. Blue is the third tier of armor, of weapons, essentially. Let's see. What kind of rings can I get? Health, 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 backstab. Ooh, there's blues. Oh. That's not that good for me. No, I don't want stagger. Oh, maybe I do. Don't want poison. Well, actually, I do want poison resistance. So, just like in D&D, there are certain damage types that are overrepresented. For example, poison overrepresented just because there's just more creatures that can do poison, and poison is just very powerful thematically, as opposed to something like shock, which is maybe shock's a bad example. Frost. Elementals will do frost damage, but most creatures won't. Whereas with poison, you have spiders, you have elementals, you have all kinds of stuff. You have enemies that are just specialized in poison. There are poison consumables in the game. I'm gonna get some regular darts because these are too expensive for me right now. Let's get some thrown. Thrown weapons in general are kind of... That was very fast. Are kind of cheating. Because... Oh, Raider. And level 2. No, I don't want you. Minus 39. Oof. That's hefty. That's... Every time you do this, you get a reputation hit. The idea was that, you know, you're basically failing your job, but also you're just kind of... What's the word? You're like a laughing stock cat. No, what's the word? You're embarrassing yourself, essentially. But reputation, on the other hand, reputation is something that you can absolutely lose as much as you want. Other than this graph, where it gives you like small bonuses, reputation's mostly just there for show. You probably don't want to be down here where you lose a bunch of stuff, but being in the center is totally fine. So you can afford to lose some reputation now and again. Anyway, let's continue. Actually, no. First, I'm gonna do another code, just because I've only done 4 and I'm about half an hour from finishing. So let's do another 2 codes. And like last time, like I said, use these, absolutely, give them to friends, whatever you wish. I just want more people to play games, so and my games by extension. So feel free to do whatever you wish with these codes. I hope you enjoy the game. So next thing I'm gonna do is, what am I gonna do? Let's do the follow-up to that story. Oh, you can, so stories that have multiple stages, you can click on the previous stages, previous and next. Previous stages and the current one, not next. And it'll give you a description of, not description, what's the word? A transcribed version of everything you just did. So all the conversation you just had, it will just be here. For the next time you come back. If you want to freshen up on any of the things you've said, any of the choices you've made, you can go as far back as the beginning of the game to go through those at any point. So I think that's very useful, especially for a role-playing game, and you're just kind of like, you've just maybe not played it for a couple of days, because it's on mobile, so it is perfectly possible. And you just want to remind yourself where you were in the story, or what decisions you made last time, or maybe it's something happens in the story and you're like, why is this person fighting me? And then you go look back and you're like, oh, okay, I stabbed him in the back like 2 hours ago, gameplay wise. So yeah, so this is in this story, basically there was a guardian spirit guarding this temple, and you defeated it, and so someone that's actually a cultist, like an actual follower of this deity, has come to I guess revenge, for revenge, essentially. There is usually, again, for chattier characters, there is actually quite a lot of options down here. There's 3 or 4. But because this character is a weapon master and a miscreant, I made a good fighting character, okay? I didn't make a good talking character. This is just like me. Rage in his eyes. Then it is your blood I will offer to Sylvaris. Raise his weapon. Yeah. I'm gonna hear a lot of raise his weapon in this playthrough. This character is gonna see a lot of quote-unquote raise his weapon. Let's see. Can I parry you? Yes, I can. Alright. I would rather parry you. And then throw one of these, and then kick. And then backstab. And then there you go. This character is just good at fighting. You get 1 out of 4 of his set as well. The rest of these items are also given as random rewards later on, but not this early. So this is the first time you're going to encounter these. There's a set of 4 of these items. There are no actual sets in the game, so that you won't get bonuses from them. But they are a set in the sense that thematically they're connected. This one's quite good in the beginning because you get stamina regeneration. By default, you just get it. So I am putting that straight on. That is going straight on the character. Oh, this is something I hadn't actually seen for a while, because I usually don't two-hand, but with this weapon there is a reason to two-hand, because you get its special move, which is to throw the javelin. But yeah, you can do this. You can switch to double two-handing in the menu itself, and you have this little icon that tells you what happens. You can switch stance in the menu, which I think is pretty useful. But yeah, I'm just going to replace this because this is so much better. Actually, I'm going to see if I've got anything that I don't want to sell. I'm just going to sell everything else. So what I'm doing right now is there's a little tag here. You can favorite items, essentially. When you favorite an item, when you sell in bulk, it won't get sold. You'll keep it instead. Equipped items don't get sold anyway, so that's not that important. Actually, I don't want any of these. Don't want that. Maybe actually I want to try that. Yeah, it's more damage. Why not? Oh, that's quite nice. Nah. Let's keep the javelin, and let's keep the javelin. But yeah, and I'm just gonna sell everything now. So all the whites, sell all the greens. Don't have blues, but sell them too. Oh, that's a really good. Oh, I actually really want that. All right, yeah, there you go. I didn't mean to shop, but I guess now I'm shopping. Okay, so shock affliction means that this applies shock to them, which is damage over time. And it also gives you +1 to stamina, which is possibly the 2 best effects you can get on a weapon. Okay. Maybe not go to electric when I just got the shock. Oh, another raider. Let's get rid of you. Let's see. Another raider. Oh, let's get rid of you. Let's just tidy up a little bit. Elder Wolf. Let's go with you. I don't think you have high shock resistance. You shouldn't. Oh, you... No. Oh. Wow, you are kicking my ass, Mr. Wolf. Yes. I am the one who's kicking the ass. Annoyingly, you can just wait it out now. That is the biggest problem with these kind of damage types, with the afflictions, essentially. You could just wait it out. Annoyingly, I tried to figure out ways around it, make it slower, make it faster. I found that this is the most satisfying because on the one hand, you want players to feel like they're doing stuff, like their actions actually have an effect on the game. On the other hand, you don't really, you know, how do I put it? People would just accept that sometimes you just have these loops where you just have to wait. You just wait it out is the most efficient way to do it. Basically, it's bad gameplay, but you're still having to dodge. They're still attacking, so, you know, it's still gameplay. You just switch to a defensive position, essentially. Let's go to spider. So, like I showed earlier, you can absolutely just use a shield against these guys, and they will get completely wrecked, or you can just be good like me and do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to apply shock to this one. Oh, okay, I did, but it's dead now. Oh, and it actually gave me a hammer, a shock hammer. That's interesting. That's cool. Anyway, we're getting up in levels now, so enemies are starting to get a little bit more difficult. And I got rid of the easy ones as well. Actually, let's do that elemental. Oh, that you're burning. Okay. So elementals always apply. I'm gonna let myself get hurt. They always apply some kind of, well, their own element, but they're usually very weak to everything else. There you go. These guys are oozes, as in they're like the lowest level of the lowest type of elementals. There are full-on elementals afterwards later in the game that take a lot more punishment, are much faster, and are much stronger when they hit you. Oh, and there's another ooze. I just did one of these. Let's not do that. There's a bandit. Let's hope you give me a better fight. So these guys are the second tier of the humanoid factions, essentially. You should know my fists are lethal. I had a lot of fun with these. These are very silly. A lot of them are references. Enough malarkey is very choice. Is a favorite one of mine. So these guys will actually wait, as in they won't just come at you. Ooh, and they'll parry too. And parrying, when you get parried, it's very dangerous. It's very scary. These guys actually have a little bit of a nerf to their damage. Later on, in the later counties, the later hubs, they actually get much stronger. So the reason why I'm not attacking, by the way, is because of this. Oh, damn it. I was playing with my inventory. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's try again. I think the way to beat this guy would be, if I had a good shield, I would block him, but I think parrying is probably the best way. He doesn't do a lot of damage, so maybe I can kick him out of it in the second attack. So let's... Oh. Oh, that was annoying. Alright, maybe parrying should be... Maybe I should try parrying then. Come on. Come on. Oh. Yes! Oh, that didn't do a lot of damage, did it? Oh, he has throwing knives too. Oh, wow, this guy's hard. Okay. Alright. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Alright, let's get my... Okay, so he's got that attack. So he's got a combo of 2 heavy attacks, I want to say, because they have parry openings. And he has... What else he got? He's got a light attack that's really fast, and then a heavy attack, and then a heavy again. Okay. Alright, I could probably parry. So all I need to do is... Ah, I panicked. I panicked. I made this game. Why is it so hard? Okay, parry. Ah, parry. No! The parry window is so short. I panicked. Oh no, he's so good. And the reason why I'm not blocking him is because I don't think I'll get a lot. I'll basically get my stamina slowly chipped away. That's why I'm not blocking. That's why I'm just sidestepping. Alright, what am I going to do? Oh. Alright, I'm going to... Alright. What am I going to do? I don't actually know. This is the last time I can fight him as well. Yes! Parry! Can I heal? No, I can't heal. Shit. Yes! Oh my god, that parry is so short. That parry window is so damn short. Alright. Oh. Come on. The problem... Okay. Yeah, well, see what I mean. Bandits are hard. Oh, I got my ass kicked. So, okay. So this is actually a good point to do another. I need to take a break. Apparently. So essentially, what happened there was the best way to counter these guys, to counter light enemies with light weapons, which he had a scimitar, I think. The best way. Sorry. First off, there's 2 more keys. Actually, I'm just gonna do the rest of the keys. Actually, I'll play for another 15 minutes and I'll do the others. I was supposed to stop at 6, but I'll stop at like 10 past, quarter past. So the best way to counter these guys. By the way, that guy wasn't even that difficult. He didn't have any kind of affliction, so he wasn't applying any kind of extra damages. He didn't have any backup. There are literally bandits with backup. Like they have a chance to spawn with like an extra attack that just periodically comes at you and you have to dodge as well. So this guy was actually really weak. So the best way to counter these guys, because they're light, they use light weapons. Sorry, let me continue. Is to use a medium shield. So essentially, medium shields will reliably parry and stagger light attacking enemies. And I kind of don't know what to do with that. Their AI can kind of act around it. They can kick you and stuff like that. But if you're clever, you can just avoid that. And if you're fast. But yeah, medium shield is how I should have approached that situation and not just kept going with the light build. Light builds are really good against heavy enemies because heavy enemies have longer parry windows, and light builds usually have a something to parry with. I feel like I'm explaining Dark Souls, but I really that's what it is. This game is Dark Souls. But you know, with an abstract combat system. Or, well, the presentation is abstract. So let's see what this guy does. So I should be able to just kick this guy's ass if I can hit the parry. Because this guy, oh, he's got something that gives him health regen. That's not great, but the shock should bypass that. So at this point, I don't really have to worry. Oh, because he's a robot, he's also weak to shock as well. So that's also a thing. Certain races are weak and strong against certain things. For example, robots are immune to poison, but they are weak to shock. Robots. Forgin. They're called Forgin. That is the name of the race. Let's see. Yeah, I need to sell all of these. Stock up. One of the reasons why I give you valuables instead of gold is because every time you die, you lose a bunch of gold. Not die. Every time you lose a fight, you lose a bunch of gold. So having valuables stocked up means that that's gold that you won't lose ever. So even if you're at 0 gold, if you need to stock up and buy some items, you could just sell a bunch of valuables and stock up at that point. Now, I actually really kind of don't like this weapon. I feel like this weapon would be much better with a character that has a heavier shield. And I don't have that. So I'm going to try the... Actually, I'm going to try this. Because it also gives me defense, which I'm kind of lacking on. And I'm going to leave that in my inventory right now. But yeah, that's... The unfortunate thing is that... Not unfortunate, but it's intentional. Is that certain characters are just better against certain other characters. And if you're struggling, the best thing you can do is just... You just have to change your build a little bit. You have to pick up a shield, or you have to pick up a weapon. Let's go against this one. Oh, I think this one has an aura. I think this one just has a static aura. Oh, no. No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, these guys aren't very, very powerful. They're more dangerous because of their elemental status. But they also don't give you too much. They also cap out at, I think, level 25. So you're still going to keep encountering them, but they're going to be just level 25 eventually at some point. They're not going to raise. So the bounties you get from them will be much, much lower level than anything else you can get. Oh, I kind of like this. I kind of like the medium weapon light build. Oh, I can backstab all day here. Okay. Come on. Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is how you do it. I did want to have enemies that are easier to deal with. And I guess animals naturally fall into that. Like I was talking earlier, animals are kind of difficult to get anyway, to get them. Yeah, let's do side story. Oh, I get one of these. That's good. I think that one gives me health. Well, it gives me endurance. Excuse me. I think, yeah, like I said, animals naturally fall into that category of they're actually quite easy to... Not quite easy. They get much harder, and spiders are actually very dangerous with their poison, but they get... they're less dangerous than humanoid enemies, as it should be in a Souls-style game. But later on, they get really fast. So that's where the difficulty comes from. So you have to be a little bit more strategic with them. So this is the, I want to say, the second part of this story, three-part story. And you're going once again into this cave. And you're trying to essentially clear it out. The first time it was a bear. Now they've gone a little bit further, and now there's spiders in there. I don't think I can block. Oh, no, probably shouldn't have done that. Oh, I'm going to get poisoned as well. Damn it. I can just backstab you. Okay. I like backstabbing in this game. Yeah. I'm going to kick you next time. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Stagger. So it's a little strategic. I probably should bump up so basically there are three critical... Oh, can't speak. There are 3 types of critical damage. There's riposte, which everyone knows that's played Souls games. You parry them and then you riposte them. There's a stagger, which you deal more damage when you block them or you kick them out of an animation. And then you have critical, and then you have backstab critical, which is you dodge at the right time and then you backstab them essentially. And all of those are meant to represent the same mechanics in Souls games. The problems with backstab and riposte are that you get... let's actually do this. Let's finish this. The problems with backstab and riposte are that you only get to hit them once, and then they go into an invulnerable state, just like they do in Souls games. Let's see if I can extort this guy. So yeah, you can extort this guy for money if you're the right kind of character. I don't think I am. So basically what's happened is they've gone even further in this cave, and now the person that's in charge of the whole thing, that the company sent to be in charge of the whole thing, is stuck in there. Their name's Drew, and they're just inside. I mean, you can either give the neutral answer or the excited answer. Not the excited, the good answer, good quote unquote. But you can't actually, there's an extra option here that some characters get. And I didn't. You can also find your friend from the previous missions. Or if you don't find her, you find her remains. And you can search her body, or you can leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. But you get a really nice amulet from that. You get a nice reward. If you're that kind of unscrupulous person. Which, to be fair, I'm playing as a miscreant. I'm playing as like a sort of a criminal type character, so I probably should have done that. But I always feel bad. All right. So what you saw there was a dodge through their attack and a backstab. That exposed means that they're ready. They're exposed for a backstab. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to... Ooh, nice. I got a double. That's a bug. I need to clean that up. It's not a game-breaking thing, so I'm not really that bothered. But actually, you know, I might leave it in because it's kind of cool. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think this is me clearing out the mine for good, essentially. So this person was, yeah, I know, hacks. So if you'd extorted the guy from before, this is where you ask for your money. But because you actually failed miserably in finding the person, you don't even get that. But you do get a trait. So certain missions will actually give you like an extra thing. This one specifically gives you a trait, and a trait is just it's a bonus. Bonus to your character, as a passive bonus to your character. You already have traits from your race, from your background, and they have special traits. And this one just gives you 100 health. I wanted to make something simple for the very beginning of the game, just to give an idea. But there are other stories in the game that actually do give you traits as well. So now that I'm here, let's put a point in agility. It's always agility. Always put a point in agility. So I'm actually just gonna call it here because, like I said, I have fatherly duties. My kid needs someone to take care of her tonight, and I actually need to do that. But this has been lovely. My mouth is very dry now. Excuse me. This has been absolutely lovely. I hope if you watch this live, or if you're gonna watch it unlive as a VOD. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will post a couple more codes before I forget. You are very welcome, chat. I am going to try and do this semi-often, not too often. I'm not a streamer, so this isn't my job, and I don't expect it to be my job, but I do enjoy it, and it gets me to talk about my game, which I always have fun.